Happy New Year 2026. Back to school nawapika vipi? Natumai mko salama. So, I want something just for public education uh, about the care versus the cruelty culture at our workplaces, in different sectors of the economy. So, right now what is trending is that Litain boys, after they banned the school decided to charge each student's parent or guardian a levy of around 45,000, to cool, or rather, to indemnify the school. Um, Now, the parents went ahead to court and they have lost. Yeah. What is my take on this? While on the other hand, people could be like, what? Our learners need to understand that they need to care. By you touching a school, you haven't solved the problem. Why can't students use the right channels to express their grievances? There is the suggestion box. I believe when the quality assurance officers come to our schools, they usually find we have those suggestion box, and they must be in a place where they can be accessed by the student, and it's a bit private. They should be having class meetings. If it's a boarding school, there must be at least the assemblies, where they get to meet with their different patrons and express their grievances. Maybe you don't like a certain teacher is not attending lessons as you want, you have insufficiency of books, you don't like so and so. There are platforms to express those grievances. So that's one. They also need to understand that by touching the school, obviously someone will have to indemnify the school, and most probably the person who feels the pinch or the heat is usually the parent. So they also need to be at a place they try to empathize, with the parent. Already, if a parent is not able to raise school fees, then here they have been charged an exorbitant amount. I don't know how they reason, but I think also this gentle parenting thing is not working. The kababa, the kamama, I don't know. Or is it that we are uninvolved because everyone says, oh, trauma. But the Bible is so clear. For example, spare the rod and spoil the child. So it needs to come to a place where we guide our children on the right way to express their frustrations, their grievances. Now, to the parents, it's cruel. However, I think the administration also overcharged. I don't know. Like, I believe during our campus time, we used to say that, okay, there was a few sundry activities that ever happened, and there was the assumption that some goons were hired by the institution to ban the school so that, to conceal some information, because you'll find it was the administration that was banned. I don't know how true that is, but could that also be another reason? So I think the investigations or the DCI can give us what exactly happens. So, yeah, as much as someone has to bear the loss, where does the caution money go? That's another question that we want to ask. Yeah, where does it go? Because we used to be told that, for example, if there is no damages which is done, you will be compensated the money. But for the years I've schooled, I've never seen compensation of that money. So I am yet to understand, where does caution money go if it can't cater for such damages? Another thing, why do we punish parents instead of the perpetrator? If it's the student who touched the school, they need to face the law. Yeah, they can go to juvenile court. We don't have to punish the parents by charging a lot. Anyway, that's just a case study I wanted to use, to explain what I wanted to say today. So, at our workplaces, or even at our homes, at different places, you tend to find we are underrating care. And care comes in very many ways. For example, people who have a listening ear, that is. For example, if you go to a hospital, you want someone who can listen to your history, who can listen to your pains. They understand your pain points and they're able to take that into account. You won't want someone, for example, a doc telling you, I know what I'm doing, I'm the doctor. You also want them to listen to you. You're the one who is suffering. That's why you went to them to consult. And this reminded me of someone I've been following, and they were saying it was about this PCOS. Yeah. So sometimes we have normalized pain, for example, for women when they're on their periods, and we say, pain is normal, but it's not. Yeah. Why are we normalizing pain? So it's good that you have someone who gets to listen, even at maybe the teaching profession, someone who cares to listen takes the day. You can ask even the students, they will tell you their favorite teacher is someone who listens to them without judging them. Yeah, I know sometimes for empaths, you can empathize and it can really weigh you down, because of the problems they share. Some are so heavy, there are different backgrounds, but at least getting to listen, wins. Another thing, that I also noticed, like my mom teaches in a primary school, and she was saying she's disappointed that one of the students who had been called to a C1 school, the parents are forcing for the child to go to a C4. Yeah, the economy is hard, but do we get to listen about the child? Hey. Yeah. You don't, it's not the right time right now, the era and the age where you just exact what you want. You see, yeah, you have to even listen to the child and come up maybe to a consensus. It's not that nimesema na itakuwa hivyo. No, get to listen to them, because if it's about choosing the schools, the child was there, the parent was there, then why all of a sudden we are changing the goalpost? Are we motivating both the child and even the parent? Hello, son. So yeah, that's another thing we need to give a listening ear. If you're an employer, you also need to listen to the grievances of your employees. If it's in terms of repairs, the challenges they're facing, you not only listen but also take action. Number 2, care can be manifested in the tone we use. If you're using a harsh tone, a very high pitch, it expresses that you're not a person who cares. Perhaps you want to express power, by being harsh or authoritarian, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, you can use a soft tone and the message will be delivered. Yeah. Another thing is the time spent. We have normalized cruelty, where a lot of time is spent than it should be. Let's say in finishing a course that should last for 4 years, you're taking 5 years, 6 years because of negligences here and there, missing marks and such kind of things. Really? Okay. Also, I remember Dad was sick this week, and he went to a hospital at a doctor's plaza. So I expected, being a private hospital, you will receive the services within the shortest time possible, if it were, because it seemed like an emergency. But tell me why the SHA was very slow. I think that was cruelty of the highest order. If someone is already in pain, And and when we remember someone like the CS now, Humincha, was like, if you don't register for SHA, you will not get the services. People have registered, then they expect to see value for their money. It's not like it's free services they are receiving. And even if they were receiving free services, uh, they should feel some sense of dignity, which they don't. You know, if you have to go and wait for 3 hours, 4 hours to get a service, really, if it was an emergency, you will die on the line. So that's also something that we need to check on as responsible citizens of the world. If that is your work, you know, I believe there are UI and UX designers and the beta testers. We fail to understand what is their work if they can't do that. So yeah, the time spent to do tasks should be reasonable. It should not be too fast to the extent, again, that we don't look into the details or we fail to see the problems. But again, that's how bureaucracy has taught us, you know, that things can take so long. Even in terms of payment, you're delaying. And this person has a family. Is that fair? It's not. Someone has given you the goodwill, delivered the goods. Let's say it's the counties. But now, reimbursing them, you know, for the tenders they availed becomes a big deal. How fair is that? So we need to check on that. Also, care can be expressed in terms of how patient we are with questions, especially in the teaching profession. You need to be patient. Some questions can seem stupid, but tunasema kuuliza si ujinga. Yeah, so you need to expect as many questions as possible. And most people ask questions out of curiosity, just to know, you know, for intellectual fulfillment. As much as we understand that those who can ask questions just to test your intelligence, and, you know, there is a tendency to dismiss them, I believe it's good that we embrace an art of asking questions and giving people that room to ask questions, no matter how small or weird they may seem. Another thing is empathy. Are we empathetic? Someone has come and told you, for example, I lost my parent. How do you respond to their problems? Yeah, that's another thing that we need to look at our workplaces. You know, be empathetic. Someone maybe has an alien parent, so they are seeking for maybe an opportunity to go and see them. Why can't you grant them? Why do we have to gatekeep such opportunities? Someone is feeling unwell. Do they have to pretend that they're okay, then they faint at work? We need to be empathetic also. Another thing is about competence. Yeah. And I've been saying over and over that competence is equivalent to confidence. If I'm competent, I know, for example, I'm a TC registered guy, you know, I have the degree in that respective and those kind of things. It helps me to deliver my level best. But there's this tendency that we have, especially at our workplaces, we just employ people for the sake that they are available, you know? And we don't really consider the impact it has on the long term. So I'm appealing that we get to consider that we are at least able to hire competent people in whichever sector, even if it's the salon, you know. Those tendencies whereby someone can leave the job and you're like, you know, bills have to be paid, what else has to be done? Your clients need to be attended and you just want to replace immediately. But can we follow the right protocols, please? Can we have ways in which we even use the legal procedures to caution both the employer and the employee? Why can't we have even this procedures? Yeah, the HR, it's a very big office that needs to be respected. But when you want to be everywhere, you don't want to involve the personnel, you don't want to delegate, sorry, it becomes a problem, because the client gets to receive poor services, and it's cruel, when you're dealing with life. For example, for students, yeah, they need to perform to get their dream course. So you can imagine when you hire someone who's incompetent, what that means. Yeah. If you are having a doctor who is using Google to prescribe medicine, imagine this is a patient and someone's life. What if they die? The cases where we have someone left some bandage, some scissors in the body, and it starts rotting. How fair are we? We need to embrace care over cruelty, even when it's not popular, because it has reached a place where we even start to, consider money. We are a bit materialistic, which is not really a bad thing. But someone is like, I went to school, I went to this place, I got the grades, so you're paying for that first, even before the service. So before we start to embrace normalizing receiving poor services at high prices, can we also go to the basics, yeah, and do what is expected of us? Another thing is kindness. Yeah, let's be kind to everyone. You don't know what someone is facing, so let's be kind in all that we do. Yeah, like what an accident has happened. Do you have to film it instead of taking an action? Why can't you call an ambulance? Why can't you help? No. As much as I understand, like for the hit and run, someone will be like, why should I leave this person alive and I will have to cater for their, if they were the breadwinner, you'd be forced to undergo long procedures due to care for even their ailing grandparents and such kind of things. So it's like we punish care. Or someone has offered to be nice, be a good Samaritan, take this person to hospital, only to be taken rounds to write reports. Can we have working systems and just kind, for real? Another thing is gentleness over arrogance. Yeah, you don't have to be arrogant. Yeah, be gentle in how you deal with people and all other things for now. But I've remembered the last point. We have the systematic breakdown, especially in charging. I remember when I was pregnant for this kid, I went to Utawala Community Health Center. From the fact that it is written community center, I expected, it's a public facility, I'll get a good package. Tell me why even for every step I was going, you are being charged without expecting. No. To consult, pay. For the pregnancy test, pay. They want an x-ray, pay. You're not refusing, but it was like no paying, no service. No, hey, can we be realistic, man? Yeah. So that is all I had for today, and hope you will have a wonderful year, a caring year. Yeah, as we wait for the customer service week towards the end of the year. Until then, bye. Oh, someone has subscribed. Thank you, Fadel. We have this is Aaron Shali from Kerala, India. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope to come to India. Yeah. So until then, bye. Love you guys. Have a wonderful time. Yeah, as we wait for the results for the KCSE. Yeah, I hope our students pass.